What's up, everybody? Welcome back to this course. In this video, we're going to talk about DHCP. So I want you to think about this. When is the last time you gave your computer an IP address? You might be thinking, well, a couple videos ago you had us walk through a lab. I did it then. But other than that, like on your phone and other devices that come connect to the network, maybe think about a friend or family member who comes over the house. When they join the Wi-Fi, do you give them an IP address? The answer is probably no. They get an IP address from DHCP. So we're going to talk a little bit about DHCP from a conceptual level in Packet Tracer, and then in a future video, we're going to go through this in the real world. So first and foremost, DHCP stands for Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol, and it's really designed to automate the assignment of IP addresses. So how do you do it? Why would you do it? Well, I'll show you how. The why is DHCP is king in giving out IP addresses. I mean, if you're trying to manage thousands of devices, you're going to probably run into issues statically assigning all those addresses, right? I mean, that would take forever. So DHCP was invented so that we could do that, and it works really well. And most computers, when they are first joining a network or connected to a network, are designed and to ask for an IP address, right? That's just the protocol. It's the TCP/IP stack, which we're going to talk about that as well. So I'm going to skip over even going to these desktops right now and jump right over to the server. I will say that in a home network, you will have your router giving out a DHCP address, because guess what? Your router at home is a DHCP server. It has a DHCP server running on it. In a business environment, you will sometimes see them use the router as the DHCP server, but mainly they're going to use a server VM or a server operating system installed on hardware. And it's typically going to be Windows Server or some Linux distribution that has DHCP running on it. So in this case, you know, these servers and these PCs are based off of Windows, but have very little functionality or operating system. They're kind of operating system dependent. It's just, here are the concepts, here are the areas that exist in every operating system. So if you go into this server, one of the things you got to think about is it is a server, but it itself needs an IP address. So you're not going to have it give itself an IP address. We're going to statically assign an IP address. So servers typically have a static IP address. That's the correlation you can make. Go to desktop, IP config. We're going to stay with our standard IP address scheme, which is 192.168.0.10. We're going to do 255, 255, 255.0. It already auto-filled. Just wanted to type it out. So default gateway, that's coming later. That's once we add the WAN element or the internet element and we add in a router, we'll get involved with default gateway. But for now, just worry about subnet mask and IPv4 address. So got those assigned. Remember, I always like to go to command prompt and check. So do IP config. Sure enough, the settings stuck. And then we're going to go to the services tab. Services, here's that word again. It popped up in the last video we did on file sharing. Well, a service think about a service in a neighborhood or a town, right? What are some services? You could have sanitation services, fire departments, police departments. In a network neighborhood, your services are those servers that are providing extra features to your network. So in a sense, a service is like a feature on a network. So you go to services, we're going to pick DHCP. And look at this. So this is the pool, and this is typically any DHCP server or software that can be turned into a DHCP server, like Windows Server or any Linux distribution. You can install a DHCP server and get it to run. But in this is basically giving us the idea of what it typically allows. So you're creating a pool, meaning a group of addresses that are going to be leased out on the network. And notice the options. It's all the options that are possible on the PC. So we're going to do this. We're going to start at 20. And you may be wondering, okay, why did he start at 20? I did just pick a random number. I will not lie to you. But I will say that that random number has a meaning behind it. Typically, when you have a pool of addresses, you're going to decide what portions of that pool you're going to allocate, right? So let's say I'm saying I want to start at 192.168.0.20. That means the first computer that asks the server from an IP for an IP address, it'll get 20. But what happens to the first 10, 1 through 10? Well, we could say that is dedicated to servers, right? So let's say the first 19 or so addresses are for servers, right? Or access points, printers, things that we want to have a static IP address on. That way at 20, none of those addresses would get leased out. None of the static addresses would get leased out. So does that make sense? Let me know in the Discord. Message in the Discord if you ever run into questions in these videos. Again, feel free to pause as well. So saved it. Now notice in Packet Tracer at the top, service says on or off. Make sure you check on. I've had some that they don't know why Dhcp was working, but it was ultimately because they didn't turn it on. So that's one thing we got to figure out. All right, so here we go. Dhcp is on. We've got an IP address. Now what do we do next? We go over to these PCs, and this is similar in Windows or Mac. You just go to the network settings, make sure the network card is set to receive an IP address automatically. So we're doing that on these. So we're going to go to desktop, IP config. Notice how in Packet Tracer that's set to static. In the real world, most operating systems, the default is going to be Dhcp. So we're going to click Dhcp. It's requesting an address. And look, it got it. You notice that it got 20. And then we go over to this PC and do the same thing, make sure. So let me tell you a little bit about what happens in that process. I just wanted you to see that first. Well, there's this process. A lot of IT teachers, they use this term. It's called DORA, not Dora the Explorer with boots, but DORA as in discover, offer, request, and then acknowledge. And I'll just do ACK. Now what happens is with discover, we have that first step you noticed earlier, which was when we flipped over to Dhcp, it started a discover request, which reached the server, and that was an offer. Then the request came back from the PC, so it said, hey, okay, well, first of all, this is kind of like a, hey, is there a Dhcp server out there? And then, hey, I'm a Dhcp server, and I have some addresses I can lease. And then this is a, okay, well, I request it from you. And then ACK is like, okay, I got one, thank you. So here's another cool way you can study protocols. I know that was kind of a fast way to go through it. The protocols, we can study every step using simulation mode. So this is really cool. Simulation mode, let me move myself, maybe even disappear so that you can see. And notice we can pretty much look at everything that happens on a network, but we're going to just pick Dhcp. So I'm going to go to edit filters, and I'm going to enable under IPv4 Dhcp, and watch what happens when we do that process. It actually goes step by step. So I'll go static Dhcp. Notice I've just generated a discover. Next step sends it to the switch, and then sends it on to the server. The server will send back, of course, an offer, right? And then so on and so forth. It's getting it from other devices as well. And they'll send the request, and then the PC will send an acknowledge back. So that's Dhcp in a nutshell. If you have any questions about this, feel free to message in the Discord. I would strongly recommend building this for yourself, getting this to work, so that then we can go into the real world and do this. All right, I'll see you in the next video.